Hi, in this video, I want to show you how to insert a button in your Excel file that changes based on a cell value. Okay, let me show you an application of this issue. So you know that in all the project finance models, you need to have different kind of error checks or sanity checks within your model, whether the balance sheet balances, whether the debt is fully repaid, and so on and so forth. Okay, so if you want to know more about this issue, I published something, it was like 6 or 7 years ago, something about this a kind of post, which I call the checkmate errors with error checks. And so it talks about the issue of why you need to include different error checks. And I have a template as well on my website. If you go to resources under modules of a typical project finance model, you can find this template. It goes to my Eloquence channel. It's a free to download template that you can use and insert it in your model. It also includes a PDF which explains the different error checks that you need to include, the typical ones that you need to include in a typical project finance model. So the issue that I want to discuss with you today is about this master error checks that you include in your model. So what I recommend, and what is usually I see in across all the standards model, is that once you create this master error checks, which collects it's basically the sum of all the errors. So this one, you better include it on top of each worksheet within your model, so that the user, when they look at it, they know that, okay, everything is fine. And if it is not fine, they know what they need to do. For example, here, if it is not fine, let me show you an example. Let's say that, I changed the construction period to 8. So this one is fail now, right? So wherever the user is on the model, in whichever worksheet, he or she knows that she needs to, or he needs to run this macro button, and the problem will be solved. And sometimes the issue is not with the macro, it's maybe something else, so you're not able to repay the debt because you kind of over leveraged the project, or something that is not related to model mechanic. What I wanted to do was to notify the user with the button, with the text inserted on the button, which dynamically changes. So for example, it's with the single button, so it would be written that it's okay, or if it is not okay, it would say, please click on this button. So currently with these buttons, that here you cannot do that. You can only put a text, but the text is not dynamic. You see, that's the point that I'm trying to make here. I want to make the text dynamic. So the way to do this is you come to your, let's say, this master error checks, and you kind of so you come to this cell and you just write a formula that will insert the text that you want to be inserted. So I say if this master error check is 0, meaning that all the checks are checked, then you just simply put OK. And if not, you say, please click on this button, or if the issue persists, it's going to be long, go to checks sheets and trace the issue, something like that. Okay, and close it. All right, so and then I can also put a condition of formatting on it. So I say if the cell contains a specific, not contains, okay, the text that I just inserted, then you can just fill it up with red, and you put a border, and then you put a font of bold. All right, okay, perfect. And the default one, I'm gonna put, like, if everything is okay by default, it's gonna be green. Okay, perfect. So now let's test it and see what's gonna happen if I change one of the inputs. For example, if I change this back to 6 months, then as you can see here, it's gonna show like this. I still don't like it. So first of all, I'm gonna wrap the text. I'm gonna, all right, that should be fine. Maybe the font, I don't like the font. Maybe let me just format it and make it black. Okay, I like better, it's more readable. All right, so I think we are good to go. So now what I want to do, I want to replace, this text and the button, that I have on top of each worksheet. I want to replace it. Same here in the summary sheet, I have this one and then this one. I want to replace both of these with this button. If I can make this into a button so that it is dynamically changed, the color and the text is dynamically changed. So what you need to do here is to just you copy it and you paste it somewhere, but this time you paste it special under linked image, linked picture. Okay. The last thing you need to do, because if it is just here, if you want to use the button just in this single worksheet, it's fine. You can come and use it here. But what we need to do is to come and link this one and come to another sheet and come back to this sheet and link it to this cell that we want it to be dynamically linked. Okay, so that's a necessary step, let's say. Okay, then this is acting like a button. You can even insert a macro. For example, here unfortunately I have a copy and paste macro, so I need to insert the copy and paste macro in this picture, which is now I'm going to use it as a button. All right. Okay, perfect. So now if I click on it, everything will be fine. Perfect. Okay, the last change I want to make this, all right? Perfect. So let's try again. So let's put this one to 8. As you can see, this is failed. And please go to checks. Okay. Okay, it is wrapped. Okay, as you can see, it is perfect. All right. So I don't know if you like it this way. I might like it better like this. Let me just do it again. 6 months. Okay, I like it better this way. It's just a personal preference. All right, so I'm going to copy this one now. And for example, in the summary sheet, I don't need this one anymore and I don't need this button. I'm just going to come and maybe I can overwrite it. Like I'm going to put it here. Perfect. Okay, so blum. You can see I have it here. Now let's check it again. So you see it's like this. So the user will know that it needs to press this button and it's going to press it. And I'm going to have to come and do this within each sheet in my model because I have this on the top of each worksheet in my model. So what I need to do is to replace it, delete this one, and basically replace, insert this button on top of each worksheet in my models. Okay, so that's something that you need to repeat in each worksheet, and each worksheet now will contain this kind of interactive button with a text. Okay, so I hope you liked it. Make sure you download the template. I'm going to also try to write a blog post on the same topic. And I see you in the next video.